The CTMU lore is an authentic American story, like Good Will Hunting meets Lonesome Dove.
My boy's wicked smart.
Christopher Langan, the creator of the cognitive theoretic model of the universe, grew up dirt poor in Bozeman, Montana, came from a home with an abusive father, barely graduated high school, worked as a cowboy, construction worker, firefighter, and fisherman. Langan wrote down the CTMU on bar napkins while working as a bouncer at a nightclub on Long Island, seemingly alternating between throwing out underage girls and drunk patrons and writing easily one of the most advanced reality theories in human history. This man literally does his interviews in front of a home gym with a power cage and looks and acts like Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec. And yet, despite living a rough and unsheltered life, Langan can easily quash any professional academic with his CTMU. Langan claims his theory can prove the existence of God, the soul, and free will, and can explain science, philosophy, and religion in a unified framework. Langan received popular attention in the early 2000s for his novel theory and his tremendous intelligence, but few have taken the time to try to understand what this genius thinks about the world. Once you finish this video, you will be able to explain and understand the CTMU in your own terms. I didn't have a 200 IQ or anyone to teach me the CTMU. I'm just a CTMU enthusiast seeking knowledge and understanding, and I want to teach you to become a master in this language because I care about the CTMU and want you to be a part of our growing movement that will shape the future of human knowledge and humankind. One of the first things that Langan realized is that nothing external to reality could affect reality, because this would be a contradiction. Therefore, everything relevant to reality, including the way it explains itself, is included within reality itself. Because reality is all there is, there's no external reality in which it can exist or have been created. All of the colors and shapes that animate our world flow back to one single entity, reality. Everything in reality is real, and therefore reality is the shared definition of everything real. But you might ask, there are many things in reality. How can they all be one? What would that even mean? The CTMU says that reality is one because it is whole. Underlying all of the difference of things which are real is that which makes them the same, meaning reality itself. Therefore, reality is one entity with many manifestations. Everything is one. This idea, called the MAP, says that reality creates itself, explains itself, and sustains itself, and relies on nothing outside of reality to do so, because this would be a contradiction. Reality being closed off to anything outside of itself is for sure self-creating and self-explaining, but it is also self-experiencing. Since the universe contains itself, it is like a hologram projected by itself through itself, creating a show for itself. Obviously, any enjoyable show must have a mind to enjoy it. So what is that which is experiencing reality? Reality's mind, of course. What Langan realized as a teenager when he was living out of a covered wagon in Montana, which, if you don't know, looks like this, was that reality couldn't just be physical, it had to be mental as well. Just as minds are real, reality is also mental, because it contains minds within it. But not only things that we usually think of as intelligent have this cognitive structure. Since reality is self-recognizing and self-processing, it is also cognitive, and any cognition which reality has must by definition be self-cognitive. Because reality's structure is like a fractal, repeating itself on all levels, that means that reality's mind exists within every object. So you can think of everything in reality as like a neuron for this infinite mind. And thus reality can recognize and process itself from the perspective of everything that it contains, is that it has this generalized cognition that allows it to recognize and process itself internally. This means that the universe understands and gives structure to itself from within itself, and thus is self-learning and self-memorizing, trying to figure out how best to understand itself. So what is it that is experiencing reality? Well, us, and similar things. The dualism that we usually think through separates us apart from nature. But when you think of it, we are a part of nature, we are a part of the universe. So reality is also thinking and feeling and experiencing through us. Reality is a mind that is working to have a more bright and vivid experience of itself through those who live within it, meaning that even though reality projects itself to its participants, like us, humans, it also has a more general structure whereby it's able to recognize and understand itself using this generalized cognition. And this brings us to our third principle, observer participation, which says that we, as human beings, can actually participate in the structure of reality. We live in a participatory universe where humans are essential to how reality functions. It says that reality is perfectly designed to take our needs into account and satisfy them. This means, together with mind equals reality, that we help create the universe through our lives and choices. The universe is freely created by sentient agents existing within it. This amounts, Langan says, to defining reality as pure experience, where reality experiences and creates itself through human beings. And in fact, every object, even those we don't usually consider as having experience, and the whole of reality is implicated in this cognitive structure. It's a closed circuit for the experience of reality by reality. The CTMU offers exciting perspectives on reality, God, free will, physics, and so much more that I'd love to share with you. Subscribe to catch the rest of my series, Learning the CTMU, where we'll go through the contents of nearly all of the CTMU papers, or join our private paid community on school.com for in-depth instruction and focused community, and I'll hold your hand and help you every step of the way as you walk within the love and light of the truth. The CTMU is the spirit of truth and can help guide us into truth as a species. When people understand the CTMU, they can align themselves with the purposes of reality and therefore form a new, peaceful, and beautiful planetary civilization with true love and unity between and among all peoples. As Christopher Langan says, the CTMU is as close to absolute truth as we will ever be privileged to get along computative or intellectual pathways. If I may indulge in a bit of testimony, beyond the CTMU ultimate syntax, the lattice of which gives rise to the multi-layered veil of Maya, there is none but the light that shines forever. Let the light shine forth in the darkness. May the peace of our Father in heaven be upon you.